Forecast.
Hey guys, there's a weekly forecast for November 22nd, 2020. Okay, let's start off with the Euro-USD pair. Okay, so the Euro-USD, yeah, last week I was talking about the long entry here, many people being long, and then targeting this pivot high up here at 1.2008. But you want to be watching out for this level, this area right here. This is a weekly trend line. All right, so from this pivot to this pivot, this horizontal trend line, you want to watch out for this level here, this 1.1900 level. Okay, now if price makes a nice short, has nice short price action there, you want it to be either getting out of your long trade or maybe possibly shorting it right back down to that pivot low down here at 1.1600. Okay, yeah, so the first touch of that weekly trend line was right here. This price action is weak. I think I recall actually telling you, so you'll be okay until the next week, right? So the price here, if you look on the 1 hour chart on this touch of that weekly trend line, see how price is diagonal up. This is weak in terms of it doesn't have that much power down. Okay, so you could stay in, but obviously to get back to this target, to get up to this target at 1.200, well, we're gonna have to test that weekly trend line again. Okay, so it's in this general level here. There's a 4 hour chart. If a strong short forms here, I would get out of the daily longs, any long trades, and possibly short it down all the way down to 1.1599 or this daily pivot low. Okay, yeah, so to sum up the Euro USD, if you're long this trade, you want to be targeting 1.200 at the daily pivot high. But you want to watch out for this level here, this 1.1900 level. Okay, because of the weekly trend line, very strong. Any strong short setups in this 1.19 level, I will get out of the long. And possibly even short it back down to that daily low at 1.1599. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and the reason why I'm putting these targets is basically markets always stop out the wrong players. Okay, so targets can easily be found if you find a setup where you know where people went in to either short or long. And if you know that they're wrong, that could be a target. Okay. Okay, so let's go on to the Euro Yen pair. And please subscribe and press the like button if these videos have any value to you. Okay, that will really help me out, guys. Thank you. Okay, so we got the Euro Yen. Right. Okay, so the Euro Yen, there's a weekly chart. Okay, there's a strong long trade right here. Okay, and these shorts are not as strong this long. Thus, the bias is at least to stop out these guys up here. So that's our target, right? 126.87. Okay. Yeah, so we're biased long and we want to entry long for this weekly target up here. The question is where? I mean, because possibly this could pull all the way back here, as long as but it won't stop out this guy here at 114.27. So what we want is a strong long setup, right? To form, so we could target that weekly high. What we're looking at right now, when you have, like for example, we're looking to ooh, I'm sorry, I'm not going all over the place with charts. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is a weekly chart, right? So this is the long, this is a week short, so we're targeting these highs right here to stop out the week shorts. It doesn't seem like there's any strong levels from here to enter, right? So most of the time when these kind of setups occur, price will make its own trend line. In other words, price will start gradually going up, right? And it starts making its new trend lines, like a recent trend line. I'm not sure if that's too clear. So for example, there's a 4-hour chart, right? Since there's no real strong levels to enter this trade long, what happens normally or often is that price starts to make its own trend line. So for example, right here, right? There wasn't any trend lines to begin at this level, right? But it gradually starts to respect it like this and starts to make its own trend line. Okay, so what we want is something like that. So we want to be looking for a long entry, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be forming something like this. Okay, it's going to start making its own trend line. Okay. Either that or these normally round out more. So price starts to round out. So on the 4-hour and 1 hour, we'll start rounding out like that. Okay. What else? Right. Oh, yeah. So, to sum up the euro yen, we're long bias. So price will not reach 1.1442. It will go to 126.90. Yeah. Now the question becomes, where do we enter in this area? I would be looking for a rounding of price on the 4-hour, more like this, or how price starts to make its own trend line like this. Just starts to respect a new diagonal level, kind of like this too, although I think this will actually stop this level out before that. Okay, this could also happen on the daily, right? So if you draw a trend line here, if price starts respecting this trend line like that, okay, that's what we'll be looking for. Okay, let's do the USDJPY. Wow, yeah, okay. So USDJPY, here's a monthly chart. I've been saying this for a while. So price is expecting this downward trend line. But I'm pretty sure. So ultimately the target is 101, this pivot low here on the monthly. But I'm pretty sure we'll pull back to 107, possibly even 109, these trend lines here before it goes down. Okay. I've been explaining this for a while, but yeah, it's because this weekly trend line has been respected very strongly on the lower price action. Those very strong price action on these trend lines, and from 1008, I believe, this level here, all these touches on the lower price action, like the 4-hour, 1 hour, even the 15-minute chart, it's very weak short. Okay, so it's really losing its momentum. I know it looks really short, but it's really losing its momentum. Okay, so if you look here, yeah, they got this big move up, and again it touched those trend lines, right? This isn't strong though, right? We want more of a rounding of price, so it's going down but it's losing momentum. All right, so in terms of entry for this one, it's got to be pretty strong, because what's been happening from 1008 is that there were long trades here all over the place. I actually took one around here, I forget why. Right, all these long trades, they go, but the targets are very small, right? Now, if the price went up to those trend lines and the short price action was strong, then okay, then we want to be short bias, right? But they're not strong. It's just these long trades are forming, but the targets are very small. And obviously, it's kind of getting bigger. Obviously, this one, right? The long trades actually, there wasn't a long trade here, but this pullback is getting much more not visually obvious, right, to the long side. Okay, so to sum up the USDJPY, yeah, so price will reach 101 at this pivot low on the monthly, but before that, it'll go to 107 or 109. Okay. Entry long on this one, it has to be very, very strong. Okay. So whatever entry strategy you use, just be careful of, and if you're going to long it, maybe even possibly take some out on that weekly trend line. Okay, the weekly, it's right here. These levels right here, so like 105.15, 105.44 levels. But if you have a very strong long, I think you could take it all the way up to 107 at least. Okay. Okay, let's go to the Aussie NZD. Aussie NZD. Right, so the Aussie NZD. Right, so I've been saying it's for the double bottom. It's very strong price action on the lower time frame. Downward trend line here. Very weak price action on the lower time frame. So we're long bias. Same thing. I should stop out the weak players up here, but at least to 1.1032, or the trend line under that, 1.0953. Okay. Again, yeah, and I just did a video on confluence. Like the reason why I view the long-term bias this way is through confluence. Okay, so there's a lot of price factors right here that are pointing up. At the same time, these shorts, the confluence is weaker than the ones on the bottom. Now, I made a video about confluence and I explained it through war. It's very similar to war, right? Just the artillery on the longs is much stronger than the shorts. So if you're interested in that, please check it out. It's called Confluence Trading Explained Through War, I think. Okay. Anyway. Right, so we're looking for a long entry at least to 1.0973 levels, right? It's the same thing. One level I'm watching is this monthly trend line horizontal right here. From this pivot to this pivot. This level right here. At this point, it's not respecting it too well. Beyond that point, there's no obvious points of long entries. And when that happens, like I said on the other pair, was the Euro Yen, I think. Normally price starts to make its own trend line. For example, here, right? There was no trend line here to begin with, but right? But if you draw a pivot from trend line from this pivot to, wow, this is so ugly, so sorry. Oh no, that isn't the same pair. There's no examples here. Okay. But yeah, but normally when there's no levels to enter those long trades on a pullback short, price starts to either round out or starts to make its own trend line. Okay, so things to look for. This is strong long price action. This is a 4-hour chart. You know, see how it's very compact like that. That's one thing. You want to see a rounding of price. This isn't too roundy. If price kept rounding like that, that's good. Or you want to see it to make its own trend line. If you look on a daily chart, for example, if you draw it from this pivot here, right? So that's a new trend line, right? if price on the 4-hour starts to keep respecting that, that makes its own trend line. It's just common things that happen when there's no levels to go up. It's like it wants to go up, but it doesn't have like it just doesn't have a way to go up, so it starts to create its own. All right. Yeah. Okay, so to sum up the Aussie NZD, we're targeting up here at 1.1032, or maybe even this trend line here at 1.0953. Price won't stop out 1.100 right here at this monthly pivot low. But we're looking for a long entry here. What we want to be looking for is a round in a price action like this, or creating its own trend line, or any other strategy that you use, right? But it's got to be pretty strong, because this is a monthly target. Okay, so if you're getting on with a 4-hour, then it's got to be a pretty strong long trade. Okay. Okay, so we'll try another one. How about Nzdusd USD? Right, so the Nzdusd. Okay. Nzdusd USD. If you look on the daily frame, right? The last long trade was right here. Okay. In my opinion, this wasn't that strong. So this, to me, is more of a momentum play. Okay, because it hit its targets. The first short target here, second target here. It kept going. Now last week, on the 4-hour, there was a pretty nice short trade, right? Because the daily is weak to begin with, it was possible to actually take 4-hour short trades, right? A pretty clean double top, and it had other confluence elements to make it go down, right? Now the target would be, the height target right here, right? But the way this failed, if you look at, I don't know if they still have it, such a long time ago. Yeah, the way it stopped this short trade out was basically through momentum. So that's in line with this daily move right here. It's momentum move, because it's not that strong of a trade, right? Which means now momentum could go on last for years, right? But at a basic level, I'm leaning towards short on the Nzdusd USD. Yeah. Actually, it's making another double top here. So, well, I can't say anything for sure in terms of when it's going to turn, but I could say a target for this. So if you're going to short this, your target's down here. So this trade is weak to begin with. So this daily low at 65.89. Okay. So to sum up the Nzdusd USD, yeah, so this price is long here on the daily chart, but it's a momentum thing, right? Which means it's momentum always gets erased. The gains you get from momentum normally get erased. Okay, so I'm slightly biased for a short. There's a clean short. I would be targeting down here, 6589. Okay, but you want to be really careful, because this 4-hour short last week was pretty strong, but momentum on it was like on the 5-minute chart, a lot of momentum started coming in again right here. Okay, so just be careful if you're going to short this after you enter the short. Watch the lower price action, like on the 1-minute, 5-minute chart. Okay, well, maybe they have it. Oh, right here, yeah. I wrote it. Right here. See these? Let me zoom up. Long gaps here. The stop loss for that 4-hour trade, I think it was like right here, right above here. around like 69.15. If price starts to make little gaps up like this, that momentum's still there because there's signs of momentum long. So after you enter the short trade, just watch the lower time frame for these gaps. Okay, because it shows momentum. You might just stop it out just to be just with momentum. Okay. Yeah, I actually explained this in another video called about gaps, momentum gaps. So if you like, please check that out. Okay. Yeah. Right. Again, if there's any assets that you want me to analyze through price action, please leave it in the comments. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the data that they have. For example, if it's bad data, I can't analyze that. But relatively, if it's good data, I can maybe analyze it for you guys. So, okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope you guys have a great week, and good luck with your trading, guys. Thank you.